Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Celestial Oracle Codes. I'm Samuel, and I will be delivering the free collective reading today. I'm feeling like there is some kind of, yeah, some kind of decision that you have to make, something that actually relies, okay, on your faith, and ultimately that will equal a happy ending in love for you. Wow. So also money is coming through clear, blessed, and actually unexpected channels. But you do need to set boundaries, make sure that you are protecting assets, also checking all I'm hearing all physical containers. So, bank accounts, also any other places that you might have stashed or keep money or anything like that. So, there's something that's happening that's going to be an increase in your finances. Your income is increasing. Also, your gifts are becoming more profitable. And gifts, when we say gifts, gifts can come in many, many ways. With the sun coming out here, gifts can be the way that you light other people up. Gifts can be the way that you organize things, right? With the emperor here, gifts can be the way that you take control of the situation and you solve problems. Gifts can also be the way that you organize things for others and you make things fit or make things make sense, right? So gifts can be you explaining or making or tutoring or helping people to learn. Gifts can also be you helping people to allocate their money, or maybe you advising others, or you could even be someone who coaches others, right? One way or another, this puts you in the leadership seat, right? With the strength coming out here and the sun, it means that you ultimately brighten people's lives up by opening their minds to maybe even lofty goals or to deeper insights and truths, things that help them to step into a leadership role in their own lives, to be the self author of their own world, and ultimately to start making true choices that reflect who they want to be for the rest of their lives and what will actually light them up and fulfill them in their lives, and also make them feel whole inside. So this is bringing in a shift in your bank account. Ultimately, also, it's bringing in a deeper enlightenment for you. So, this is a big crown chakra activation, third eye chakra activation, throat chakra activation, and higher heart chakra activation. So, you see deeper truth, you can organize things, you're having deeper concepts, you might become more aware, okay? Of unseen forces or the guiding light for yourself and also for others. So you might be facing your true north. You might also have a deep sense of wanting to serve humanity or fulfill some kind of role that helps to show and truly embody, right? And then lead by example for others to emulate and ultimately to create maybe even new streams of income in their own lives, or making some kind of foundational investment that leads to everybody accumulating more wealth in the end. So it definitely gives that kind of energy where people not only got in control of their limiting beliefs, so this can also be taking calculated risks with the strength card coming out, but also trusting in divine wisdom and intuition, but also trusting in your organized thought and your strategic action, also the way that you set boundaries and the clear way that you can see how things function and ultimately how they can lead to your true happiness and joy in this sun card coming out with those. So this is very interesting energy tapping right from the beginning. So I can see that a delayed payment or a blessing, okay, something some kind of answer is being released. Funny. And it might be something that finally makes you feel seen. Something after you might have felt betrayed. Okay. So something that finally makes you feel not only like you are seen, but also something that makes you feel like finally you are getting the recognition that you so deeply deserve, when maybe there was a situation that where people were in and it was like nobody won in the end, right? So it's the kind of situation where everybody kind of feels like it was a loss in some type of way, just because it didn't go the way that maybe we planned, or ultimately that we felt like was for the greatest good of all, or even for the greatest good of anyone involved. So it really gives that energy where there were no winners in the end. And ultimately, this is you finally getting the recognition that makes you see that you were always a winner in the end, right? That it was always working out in your favor, even when it seemed like this was in that chaos, right? That conflicted mental energy where it seems like your thoughts are under attack, your actions are under attack, your life is under attack, who you are is under attack. People are trying to defame your character, people are trying to debunk who you are, people are lying about who you are. There's all kinds of gossiping rumors going on about you, but it doesn't have to be that, right? Sometimes it can just be a conflict of interest that turned into a charged situation because maybe it was like two toxic individuals who don't handle, disagreements so well. So it can also be that kind of thing. But ultimately, it's something that left everybody either torn or ultimately less benefited, right? So it was not a non-beneficial conflict that did not serve anyone involved. That's what that equals. And ultimately, you see that it was something that was necessary for you because it led you to the awareness, to the awakening, to the harmonious events and all of the actions and the true choices in your life that are leading to this recognition, and all of the happiness, the joy, the true organization, the clear, healthy boundaries that serve the greater good of everyone around you, all the right choices that lead to the greater plan that is you stepping through in whatever fear you had because you have a deeper connection to the divine that is leading to a deeper illumination and happiness in your life. That's what these cards are saying. Beautiful, beautiful message. After the heartbreak on the bottom of the deck, something that you're trying to put behind you, right? Something that hurt your heart. And now you can see that the cards are falling differently. When someone left you betrayed, okay, so when this and this are connected, especially when it's so close to this, then it shows me not only was there a big betrayal, maybe events that happened where maybe we said some things that we both, on both sides, right, that we weren't happy about what we said. And maybe we did some things on both sides that maybe we weren't happy that we did. But at the end of the day, it's a point of accountability, right? And so with the Seven of Swords coming out and the Five of Swords coming out, there shows a deep lack of accountability on one of these sides. And it shows that that stole the peace of mind, that stole the time, that stole away the essence of the growth in that relationship, something that you could have had, right? Something that would have actually elevated, sustained, and truly become a foundational um, milestone in a relationship that could have grown, right? If it could have gotten through whatever this toxic situation and the toxic thought patterns and the toxic just actions, right? The stealing of the time, the stealing of the peace of mind, the stealing of even material possessions for some involved here. But at the end of the day, what it truly was the theft of a better experience where a lesson could be learned, and then, a friendship might have been earned or something like that. But at the end of the day, this is also us being so guarded and so afraid of a deception in our lives that we actually create situations where toxic instances and experiences can happen. And so that's also this kind of energy where we are so focused on the negative happening in our lives, right? Oh, this person's going to do this to me, or this person's that way, or that's going to be this way, or this or that, that we are actually unintentionally putting the vibration and the frequency and the intention and the energy in the air, in the atmosphere for that to become a perfect match to our experience. And then guess what? Through attitudes, through moods, through whatever comes in, to make it so that it happens for you. It manifests and then you feel like you're right because this whole time, this 7 and this 5 show that you had conflicted thoughts and all kinds of inner tests and misalignments in the mind. And so that also is a deep message coming through in this message. With the strength card coming out attached to the 7 of swords and the 5 of swords, it's a clear indicator that this is also a reset in the mind where we had to get control of our thoughts. We had to get control of the way that we were letting the narrative run away in our mind, letting our mind get attached to old narratives and old attachments to the outcomes that didn't serve or didn't turn out right for us, right? Letting go of the way that these deceptions, that these afflictions, that these thefts of time, that these thefts of the calm in our lives, that these thefts of our material possessions, that these thefts of our emotional energy, right? The draining of your physical energy, the draining of your mental energy, the draining of your emotional energy, and all the things that led you to feel like you were betrayed or like you got taken or like things didn't work out in a way because maybe you felt like you let down your guard or there was some kind of thing that you must have did wrong or someone that you let in, whatever. But it was just lessons to be learned, honestly, to get you to the elevated state, right, where you can make the right choices from wisdom because of what you went through when you went through these things on any given day. And now, with that wisdom, this is what we see. Hold on, this is what we see. With that wisdom, from the whatever that it did to your mental state with the 7 of swords and the mental state with the 5 of swords, the conflict cards, coming out, giving you the strength, the power of your mind, the power to finally stand up in the emperor energy, right? And start setting healthy, clean boundaries that serve the greater good of you and all of those around you. And more importantly, never in spite of you. And really reorganizing, restructuring the foundation of the way that you approach your life and the way that you move through this world, approaching your desires, and actually standing up for yourself, communicating in new ways. This is the emperor energy. So you literally went from whatever aspect of you, went through the 5 of swords and the 7 of swords into the aspect of you who could literally embody any king. So that means you, in all these swords issues, you could just become the king of swords, and all of a sudden you have the logical, the procedural, and all of the strategic ways to move that make it all of a sudden a very neutralized problem for you, right? And you're not afraid to walk away, that means either, right? You're not afraid to cut things out of your life. That's sword energy. And at the end of the day, that is also what is bringing this blessing your way. This fulfillment, this new alignment, this new kind of reciprocity in the universe. That's the sun energy with the strength and the emperor. And honestly, with the 6 of wands coming out, after all of this strife in your life, I'm telling you right now, this is you finally getting acknowledged for something because you finally stepped into this energy, the illuminated, organized, self-authoritative, self-sovereign, leader of their own life, their own existence, who controls their mind and the narrative that they let to, their unconscious reality play out into this sun energy, right? And ending in a beautiful beginning is what I'm hearing. A beautiful beginning. So let's see what that let's see what that looks like. I'm just like trying to throw these apparently. Alright, so let's see what does the beautiful beginning look like? So I got to. Alright, so the beautiful beginning looks like, an invitation or some kind of event that will leave you emotionally fulfilled, lead to new creative aspects in you, or maybe this Knight of Cups is just the new way that you move through the world. So let me tell you what that is if it's that for you. Well, this means that you finally not only are stepping into an opening where you are moving in a way where you finally trust the way you feel. You finally are trusting your emotions, and you're finally in the somatic essence and the somatic experience of your body, to the point where you have recalibrated your central nervous system, and you fundamentally can trust your intuition through the senses, through the impulses, right? If you walk into a room at this point in Knight of Cups energy and you seize up, right, your heart, you start getting heart palpitations, or maybe you'll get a heat flash, or maybe it'll be like some kind of flutter in the pit of your stomach. There's be some sensation in your body that will let you know, right, some kind of fundamental aspect or trigger that comes through to your brain, and you're gonna start getting impulses, and this is your new intuitive measure in this kind of powerful energy. If this is your energy after all of that, and you're now in Knight of Cups energy, it means you're moving in a way more emotionally in tune and intelligent way, where you're fundamentally letting your feelings lead the way in an intuitive way that is fundamentally getting you into this emperor energy, cutting through any of the BS that was getting in the way of the safety that you feel in that strength, and ultimately leading to the illumination and the joy and fulfillment that come with the sun after all of this darkness in the conflict cards of the swords, and ultimately leading into the Six of Wands energy of the awards and all of the acknowledgement that you always deserve. And it comes from this new perspective that you have in life, but also this new beginning in the way that you're moving, right? This energy, this emperor energy is a new energy for you. So the page is coming out to let us know that it's also this new way of viewing the world, right? A world that maybe you didn't always look at like it was so bright and so beautiful. Sometimes maybe it felt like you were in the middle of a desert. And at the end of the day, somehow you always found the oasis. That's the energy of this. And that is what led you to this illumination, to this freedom, to this safety, to this speculation, to this creativity, to this new invitation, to a new life that you get acknowledged in, and makes you finally feel like everything is turning out right. Strength, Sun, Emperor energy. And ultimately, oh, it leads to your Ten of Cups. I love it. I love that energy. It leads to your happily ever after. There's never been such a clear happily ever after in any reading I've ever got in my whole life, except that. Like that. So basically, what these cards are saying is, if it takes away from this, get rid of it. It means it does not serve you. And at the end of the day, if it takes away from this, then it's taken away from your authority over your life. It's taken away from the boundaries that you set. It might be stepping or crossing lines. And if you're allowing, if you're easing into the allowance of bypassing your own boundaries, then you're bypassing the alignment that gets you into this sun energy, into this safety, into this reciprocity, into this understanding, into this acknowledgement, into this new creative aspect, this spark, this new invitation to this life that ends up in the Ten of Cups, your wish fulfillment and ultimate happy ever after. That, whatever that means for you, whatever it means for you, it is the Emperor, the Sun, the Knight of Cups coming out with strength to clarify, showing that you get all the awards in the acknowledgement. So this could be fame for a lot of you. For some others, this is just you finally feeling comfortable in your life, like you have all the choices, like you have personal freedom, like you have time freedom, like you finally can let your hair down, like you finally are safe in your own environment, and like you are finally free to be your creative, inspired self. Ultimately, seeing the world in a new way, knowing that you are aligned with the new environment that does not house the seedy kind of betraying energies that gossip or, slander and do all of the things that leave you in that low vibrational state, making you feel like you're in a toxic environment. Ultimately, stealing your time, stealing your peace of mind, stealing sometimes your material possessions, right? And so all of that is, you can say goodbye, because at the end of the day, this is the energy of your new life. The Emperor, that's you. And the Six of Wands, that's all the respect and the acknowledgement that you always deserve to get. the strength, that's the control over your mind, that's the control of the narrative of your life, and that is the control over your connection to the divine. So let's be clear about what that strength really stands for. More than just the control over your mind. And ultimately, the sun is the control of your happiness and your fulfillment in life, and that only leaves that to be the happy ending that makes all of that right. And ultimately, it comes with the Knight of Cups that not only lets me know that you're moving in a more intuitive, emotionally informed, maybe love interested, or even relational, right? So you might be communicating interpersonally in a more direct way. You might also be extending into networks. You might be building into social circles, or you might just be fundamentally trying to find tribe or community that represents all that we've seen that your life is, if it's not already, it is going to be. And so that is what the cards are saying. And it's a beautiful reading. If you are in the end of this reading, all of these positive messages are yours, and I'm really, really happy for you. Congratulations. I don't think there's anything else to say other than have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed, and bright day. I send you all my light, my love, and my blessings. I really, really am in awe of this reading. And I will see you in my next reading. So have a wonderful day. Bye.